Welcome to Monkey Bible Theater. Today we present the story of Pharaoh's dream and how God helped Joseph rise to power in Egypt. It all comes from the Old Testament Genesis book in chapter 41. And we will learn where to find true wisdom. Now, as you have seen in our earlier lessons, Joseph had some really wild ups and downs. From being favored by his dad and receiving special robes, to being thrown in a ditch by his brothers and being left for dead, and then being sold into slavery. But it wasn't over for Joseph. God had a much bigger plan, just like he does for you. But after a while, Potiphar's wife accused Joseph of a crime he did not commit.
Joseph committed a terrible crime.
And Joseph was thrown in jail. But even in jail, God had a much bigger plan for Joseph, just like he does for you. And while he was still a prisoner, Joseph was put in charge of other prisoners. Well, children, that's the background, and that's where our story picks up today.
Yes.
Two years later, Pharaoh had a dream. As he stood by the river Nile, he saw coming up from the water 7 cows, well fed and fat, for they had been feeding in the river grass. Moo! That is some delicious grass. Moo, moo, moo. Man, I sure am getting fat. It is yummy, yummy, yummy in my monkey cow tummy. Moo. Then, in Pharaoh's dream, 7 other cows came up after the fat ones, right out of the Nile, and they were poorly fed and thin. Oh, I'm so thin, and there's no food. Oh, I'm so scrawny, and hungry. And they stood by the other cows in the bank of the Nile, the poorly fed, lean cows, then ate up the 7 well-fed cows. Yum.
Oh.
Yum. Hey, cut it out. Yum. Yum. Go, 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 go. Oh, go, 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 go. Burp. Fat cows. Scrawny cows. Fat cows, scrawny cows. Scrawny cow eating fat cow. Afterward, Pharaoh fell back asleep and had a second dream, and saw 7 ears, plump and good, growing up on one stalk. Also 7 ears, thin and withered by the east wind, grew up after them. The thin ears swallowed up the 7 plump, full ears. Then Pharaoh awoke, and he knew it was only a dream. But in the morning, Pharaoh was very worried. How will I ever determine what these dreams meant? Who can tell me? Who has the wisdom? And Pharaoh did not forget his dream. It worried him all morning long. So he sent for all the magicians and wise men of Egypt and told them his dream. I am the great monkey magician. Praise the banana. We shall ask it and seek its knowledge. What was Pharaoh's dreams? What were they, O banana of wisdom, tell us? Banana, banana, shaka 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 banana. Listen, Pharaoh, I got nothing. I don't know anything about those dreams. But no one could tell him what the dreams meant. How will I ever determine what these dreams meant? Who can tell me? Who has the wisdom? The chief cupbearer heard Pharaoh talking about the situation with his dreams, and all of the sudden, the cupbearer, who's sort of like a butler, remembered something very important. And he said,
Oh, no. I have sinned greatly. I now remember my sin. A long while ago, Pharaoh was very angry with his servants, and he put me and the chief baker in prison in the house of Potiphar, the captain of the guard. Want a drink? You see, the baker and I, we both had very strange dreams when we were in prison. And they each had a very different meaning. And while we were in prison, there was a young man who was a Hebrew and was a servant of Potiphar, the captain of the guard. And he was locked up for some crime that he says he was wrongfully accused of. And we told our dreams to this Hebrew, and he told each of us exactly what our dreams meant. And our dreams, they came true, just like he said they would.
Yes, well, it wasn't exactly me. You see, I prayed to the God of Israel, and he gave great wisdom about your dreams, and it was the truth, because that is where true wisdom comes from.
And, sorry, Baker. Remember, well, oh boy. He told us, that I would get my job back and everything would be great. And it was. But, you get died. Sorry. Anyway, it all came true, and Baker's not with us anymore. Oops. Anyway, back to our story. So I remember. And I promised my friend over here, his name is Joseph, that I wouldn't forget about him when I got my job back, but I kind of forgot about him, and now I just remembered, and that's why I said I stand. Oh, boy.
When the cupbearer told Pharaoh these things, he quickly sent for Joseph. Bring me Joseph, someone who can translate my dreams and tell me the true meaning. And so they quickly brought Joseph out of the prison, shaved his face.
I think you missed a spot.
Oh, sorry. And gave him new clothes. And Joseph came to Pharaoh, and Pharaoh said to Joseph, I've had a dream, and there's no one who can tell me what it means. But now I've heard that when you hear a dream, you can tell me what it means. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, Pharaoh, it is not I. It is God alone who can give Pharaoh the true answer. Then Pharaoh told Joseph all about his dream, about the fat cow and the thin cow, and then how the poorly fed cow ate the first 7 fat cows, but no one could tell that they actually ate them because they still stayed really thin, and that how he had the same sort of dream with the plants that were thin and the plants that were fat, and the thin plant ate the fat plant, and all of this, and I don't know what it means. I need to know. Oops. Oh, excuse me. I'm back. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, Pharaoh's 2 dreams mean the same thing. God has made known to you, Pharaoh, what he's about to do. Oh, the 7 good cows are 7 years, and 7 good ears on the plant 7 years also. It's one dream. The 7 lean and poorly fed cows that came up after the 7 years and the 7 empty ears withered in the east wind mean 7 years of famine. No food, nothing will grow. Oh no, this is not good. No, nothing will grow during a famine. And that's what it means. That is why I say to Pharaoh, God has shown Pharaoh what he is about to do. 7 years of great plenty all through the land of Egypt. They're coming, but they shall be followed by 7 years of no food, 7 years of famine, so that all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt, and the famine will use up all that land produces, and plenty will not be known in the land, because the famine which follows will be severe. Oh! This is not good. Now the dream came twice to Pharaoh to show that the famine will definitely come, and that God will soon make this dream come true. Oh no. Therefore, Pharaoh, you should pick out a man who's sensible and wise, and place him in charge of the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh act quickly to put overseers over the land and collect 1/5 of all that grows in the land of Egypt. And then, in the 7 years of plenty, let them gather all that food for these good years that are coming, and store up that food. Store it up under the authority of you, Pharaoh, and let them hold it
in the cities so there will be food when the famine does come. There'll be plenty of food collected over these 7 years. That way, when there's no more food, you'll have large stores of food in the land to give to the people, and they will not die from the famine.
Now, the wise plan that came from God through Joseph pleased Pharaoh and all his people. So he said, "Where can we find someone like this Joseph, a man who is in the Spirit of God?" So Pharaoh said to Joseph, "As God has shown you all this, there is no one as sensible and wise as you. You shall be at the head of my country, and all my people shall be ruled as you command. Only I on the throne will be above you." And so it was. Joseph was placed in a position of power only below Pharaoh in the entire land of Egypt. And all that God revealed through Pharaoh's dream was true. There was a 7-year period of great harvest, full of power, full of bountiful crops, and they stored them up in many storehouses in cities across all of Egypt. And there was so much grain and so much food stored that when the famine came 7 years after the good period, they had enough food to sell to all the people in Egypt. And they did not die. Well, children of FBC, thank you for joining our story this week on Monkey Bible Theater. I hope you've enjoyed learning all about Pharaoh's dream and where true wisdom comes from. It reminds me of something Jesus' brother said. James said in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 5, "If you need wisdom, ask our generous God, and he will give it to you. He will not rebuke you for asking." I hope you'll remember this story, children, and if you ever have a strange dream, or if anything comes up this week or in the future, you can always go to God. He wants to help and reveal wisdom to guide you in every situation. Thank you. God bless you, and we'll see you soon.